Welcome back to Bonded by Bravo. We are down to Jenna's final days as a single lady in SF.
Wow, I look crazy. I should have put makeup on. This happened last year. I saw the videos come out. And I was like, girl, put some makeup on. But I just am not quite motivated enough.
That's totally fair.
I
want to give you this chapstick. Here you go. No.
Things are not like, what angle could work here? Anyway, how's Mexico?
Mexico's great. I partied a little too hard and got an injury, but would it even be a trip if I didn't have an injury?
I was going to say, I saw your wrist right before we started recording, and what the hell happened? That looks weird. Got something like a fence, maybe?
It's glass. This is all glass. I thought that I'm still 21 and I got up on the bar to dance, but as I got up on the bar, the chair went backwards and I hit my head and had a glass in my hand.
Oh my God, Amy. This is not chill.
Yeah. I don't know who I think I am. You know, I'm not 21. Let me tell you, I'm not 21. So this is all like shattered glass.
And I need to know your exact response, like, as this happened.
Okay, as it happened, you know that I freaked the fuck out because of all of my ongoing health trauma to do with my head.
When you said the head.
Yeah, so I had like a full panic attack.
Like, bumps it back into normal.
I thought that today because I woke up today and I was like, I actually don't feel so bad. It happened 2 nights ago, and that night I was crying hysterically because I was like, oh my God, no, what did I do? I definitely was like probably mildly concussed. And yeah, it's so whatever, you know, it wouldn't be one of these trips if I didn't come back with some sort of injury.
Last year, wasn't it your foot?
No, remember it was that big, huge bruise on my ass?
Oh, yeah.
The black one? See, I can't.
Let's stay put with your drink, you know?
Yeah.
To you.
I know, and there are people that come to, like, it's the weirdest setup. Like, we have, like, guys here all day that bring you food, bring you drinks all day long, no problems.
Wow, you're like on a housewives trip.
We keep saying, like, me and my 2 friends here, it's my husband's work trip, and we keep saying it's, like what we think below deck would be like, where, like, you're not allowed to do anything on your own.
Yeah.
I also want to acknowledge for any of the folks who are watching us, and I know that like we had a whole clip last week about not wearing a team that you're not from, but I just feel like the New York Yankees is an overall team. So it's more about fashion than it is about
well, maybe Alex Cooper
Dallas Cowboys isn't about fashion.
Speaking of Alex Cooper, I saw this. I don't know if it's true. I tried to substantiate it by doing a little research, but then I ended up on a different Wikipedia hole. But apparently her publicist dropped her and stayed with Alex Earle. So then I started Googling the publicist and then ended up on this article about top, like, power couples in New York City under 30. And that was a fun little spiral that I went down. Huh?
Who was on that list?
So people that are kind of behind the scenes.
Oh. Boring. Yeah. Give me a name. Would I know any of them?
I don't know. The publicist's name is Kate Bailey. And she's married or she's engaged to Carbone guy.
Oh, that's interesting.
I know. When I was doing it, I was like, wow, I kind of love this stuff. And there's people out here that don't give a shit about it.
I know. It's funny you say Carbone. It's probably the restaurant like I'm always trying to get into, and my husband's cousins gave us a gift certificate there, and I was like, this is nice and all, but like it's kind of a waste. I've had it for a year and a half. You can't use it.
Do they take reservations or is it just wait?
They do, but there's no way. Like you have to. It's just annoying. You have to like know someone or wait every day or put yourself on the notify list. Like you're never going to get the reservation. Yeah. people do, and like I don't care. I mean, I care, but like, is it going to be the best pasta I ever ate, or is it just going to be mediocre pasta with Justin Bieber sitting in the corner?
When Sierra shouted out the Emilio Bellatos the other day, I was like, oh, I actually have had that, and it was delicious.
Was it? Yeah. And I think people would say Carbone is like mediocre.
Yeah, so I think as soon as you get too big, when you start flying too close to the sun, everything just comes downhill from there.
Speaking of, what a freaking week for our girls that we ride or die for, Giggly Squad, Paige and Hannah.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I felt like this was for me. Like, this was for all of us.
I felt inspired. Like, I, in no way, any kind of jealousy. I was like, hell yeah, girls. Like, and then Amanda posted, when I met little Paige 7 years ago, she said one of her career goals was to be interviewing celebrities on the red carpet. And here she is today at the Oscars Vanity Fair party.
Amanda said that? Mm-hmm. It's just so weird to me that she won't acknowledge Hannah, because like you were friends at some point.
You would think too over time that they would be able to bury the hatchet, and especially because Paige is so close to Hannah, that support for Paige, that Amanda would be able to come around on Hannah. It's like, did Hannah even do anything that bad to Amanda? Like, I can't imagine the reason any reason really to keep up a rift like this.
It's so, to me, like, I would find it so hard being in Paige's position that I would probably just like end one of my friendships being like, it's not worth it.
I know, that's so not what Paige is. I guess I wouldn't do that either, though. End one of them?
Well, I mean, you were in a kind of a similar situation, don't you think, with me and someone else?
Yeah, but also that person was giving me nothing. Like, reaching out, it was like I continued reaching out for a decent amount of time, and I was getting literally nothing.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Honestly, it wasn't even really up to me.
Same. Yeah, I think that has to be such a
respond. Hard to have a relationship with that person.
With somebody. Yeah. I honestly, though, watching Paige and Hannah on the red carpet, like following along their stories, I put on our Instagram, like it feels like we all were on the red carpet. Like there's something that felt so special for all of us. And I think when you watch someone come up from the ground up and you're kind of part of their journey, I mean, Hannah went from Summer House to just boldly doing stand-up comedy without like any training. She's obviously learned her way. She has a Netflix special now. She traveled all around. And Paige, same thing, like coming in as the fashion girly, getting in there and just making a name for herself in influencer world, that now they are out here in the world doing what
being taken so seriously.
And then Paige's DSW line drop. Did you see that?
That bitch is busy.
How do we get on the PR list?
I don't know, but we got to figure it out. I mean, would I ever wear this little ballet flats? No, but I would love to open the box.
And you'd probably wear the robe. You'd make use of it.
I could use it this Friday, Paige.
The thought of you in a ballet flat just made me giggle.
Hello.
Slay. The one thing I was thinking about as I was watching, there's this influencer that I'm obsessed with right now, Nikki Campbell. And he is the guy who does the videos of all the red carpets of like loved, hated, needed more. Have you seen him? Mm-mm. He is popping off right now, and he basically does all the red carpets and does commentary. And he was really literally like just some guy who started doing this for no reason and has become super popular. All of the celebrities want his feedback when they do the red carpet. And so he was on there and he was doing all of the looks. And I just kept thinking, like, I want to be a fashion girl so hard. And like, I want to understand what's happening. And I probably almost get it wrong always.
I have just no interest, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, actually, my friend and I were going to get a glass of wine last night. She wanted to go out for like pre-wedding drinks. Oh. And she like had this really cool jacket on, and I was like, oh my God, I love this. it's like such a vibe. And she's like, oh yeah, Buffalo Exchange. And I was like, yep, you already lost me. Like,
Same.
I can't be digging through that stuff. And she's like, yeah, because
Whoa.
you're in there looking for a plain white tee.
But also, like, I want to be clear that when I say I'm a fashion girly, I am not a Buffalo Exchange girly. I am not. Hold on.
That I think is so cool about girls that are really like into fashion is that they can go into pieces and make it work. Like Eden does a lot of stuff from Crossroads and makes it work. I'm always like shocked by some of the pieces.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, you're just like, how did you figure this out?
No. I want to be able to like, yeah. That's yeah. I'm not the one either. Like, I don't have the patience. I also don't have the patience for like a TJ Maxx or a Marshalls to again sift. No. But with that being said, I don't know if you saw what Camila Cabello wore to. I feel like I strongly identified with. It was this gorgeous dress that had this like. It was this like yellow dress and it had this lacing. It was insane. And I mean, a lot of other people did dresses really, really well, but I feel like it's like the Oscars are the highest fashion that you're looking at in award shows. It's different from the Grammys, even a little different from the Golden Globes.
I actually don't like Camila Cabello's.
The yellow from the Vanity Fair party?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Not for me. I mean, she looks great.
Yeah.
But I don't love.
Okay. Well, to each their own. What looks did you love from the red carpet or that you remember?
I have no idea.
You don't care?
I'm not like, yeah, I don't care.
Okay. That's totally...
I mean, I always like Kylie and Kendall, but I actually didn't. I noticed that I didn't like Kendall's hair this year, which is like a weird thing for someone like me to notice. Like, what do I know about hair?
Yeah.
But I didn't like that they just kept it down and just like, it looked like she could have taken that dress off and gone to the gas station. Like,
right.
Changed her outfit.
Yeah. The one thing I noticed about Kylie all awards season that it was all black. She's been wearing... Why?
I think it's like
stage him.
Yes, like this is Timmy's moment. Are we calling him? Is his name Timmy or Timothée? Whatever.
I'd say. I mean, obviously it's Timothée, but I hear most people call him Timmy.
Yeah,
never refer to him casually.
I feel like it's like a decision.
That's interesting. Yeah, because I wanted more from her all award season.
I think as time goes on, if they like, they're going the distance, I feel like. Maybe not next year, but the year after that, we'll get some bolder looks. Like she'll be more comfortable on the floor. She'll know people that are attending these events. She won't feel so much like an outsider and like kind of like, don't look at me,
Yeah, it definitely, watching them together, I am obsessed.
She is so happy. You can kind of even see it in the show. There is like a real, and I think we might have even talked about this last year, but there is like a lightness to her. Like it's very very like chill and calm. And I'm like, this bitch was either always on an edible or just really happy. And honestly, both are great.
Both are great. For her, like to me, even seeing them together, it doesn't feel like she has that like insecurity feeling. It's like a mature relationship that, and Timothée Chalamet is my talent crush. Could you know
she trusts him. Like he's not clowning around on her.
I almost feel like he is a little close to the sun. We're going to use that reference when we are afraid that people are getting like, I think it's like we're like, oh God, we love them so much and we're so afraid something bad's going to happen to like we find out he's a Trumper or something, and then what the hell are we going to do? But
he grew up in New York City. He's fine.
I'm just saying like something awful. I was thinking of like an office.
White Lotus, though.
White Lotus. God, I didn't watch this. That's the one thing about being in Mexico is I can't watch all my TV. Like I'm not caught up on White Lotus. I'm not caught up in Beverly Hills. So it's been,
Actually, this episode was like kind of giving a little bit because they gave us a lot of behind the scenes about the Mauricio photo that came out and Kyle's full reaction. And then like you hear Kathy being like who, like this feels orchestrated. She's like, no offense, but like he's not Brad Pitt. So like, why are the paparazzi at this airport that I guess typically they're not at? And so now it's kind of being insinuated that her team,
the girl,
the photo, the girl, which I'm like, yeah, and I bet that worked for her because no one knew who she was before that photo came out.
That is, I can't, who is she?
I still don't know, but
okay. I can't.
Young model, and like even Kyle says, which I thought was interesting, like he does send a text to her, and I'm sure she didn't say that he sent a text to the girls as like his daughters as well, but she was like, he has to be embarrassed by this photo, like his daughters are seeing this, like that's
but
not.
He also saw them taking the pictures in that moment. Like it's not like they were hiding somewhere.
Yeah, I guess that's true. It's like we've seen like the other side of the paparazzi photos, and they're not discreet.
No, and they were in an airport, right? Right, they have this huge camera. Like, okay, so tell me, because I didn't see, what was Kyle's reaction?
She was upset. I mean, she was like she was raising the questions that I think she probably should have been asking a while, like this whole time. Is this going to change our dynamic? Is he going to be allowed to be this nice to me? Are we going to continue to be this friendly? And then it even showed the behind the scenes of she's sitting in like a doctor's office with Kathy, and it's in the same moment that Kathy says, like, no offense, but he's not Brad Pitt. And she takes wife out of her bio. And that was like a whole huge headline. She's like, why should I have this in here? Like, he's out here acting like this. Like, I think she's really she was having mixed feelings. She's like, it's not my business, but I am also hurt by this. This is not making me feel good. Also, we have daughters. We have this good relationship. I wanted to text him and say, who is that? But can I even text him that? It's not my business. He's a single man. And so,
but then why do you still have wife in your bio? It's like she's hanging on to something.
She said that.
Yeah.
It's like, I need to, it is becoming increasingly clear that I need to move on.
Yeah.
Which is sad, because I think even, I'm not Kyle's biggest fan, but I've always said I love her in the, like, her
family dynamic.
Her family dynamic is where I find I like her most.
Yeah.
And this is like the most open I feel like she's been about the divorce, because she's really kind of
in it.
Good. Yeah. Still doing the family stuff, all of this. And it just felt like a very real and raw moment. Like, that headline came out clearly while they were filming, and she had to react on screen.
That's kind of, wow. I'm excited to see that. It makes me feel bad for her, but I also feel like there's this naivete about her that she thinks that they're going to be able to keep this one big happy flappy family forever and ever. And I do think that they can be friends, but I think it's because Kyle continuously decides to take it on the chin.
I know, and
you just feel bad for her, because you're like, you don't have to be the bigger person. You don't have to. It almost feels like she's like just taking the jabs and taking the jabs and taking the jabs because she wants everything to be fine.
I know.
It makes me sad for her.
Well, that was kind of really the only thing that had happened on Beverly Hills. So if we want to...
What are we talking about today?
Get into Summer House first, and then we'll go down south.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so I did a little... This is totally like... Allegedly, I have no idea. I am fully speculating here.
Ooh, I love when you speculate.
Okay, Demois posted yesterday on her Instagram this like clip from the podcast about some Bravo news that's going to be coming out. It seems like it is another show that they're planning on doing.
Okay.
It was like people were guessing, and people were like mad because everyone was commenting like, great, you're giving us nothing. You're giving us nothing. And she's like, if you read the comments, you guys have guessed it. You guys know. And so I'm like, like 310 fucking comments trying to figure out, like, because she had said that she had commented on comments. So I'm going through all the comments. Everyone's like guessing Jersey, like Jersey stuff, like a Teresa spinoff or the Jersey cast or just all this like Jersey stuff, just like anything. And she was like, no, not this. Could be true, but not this. This is not what I'm talking about. So I'm going. The only comments that she didn't respond to with a no, not this, because she did respond to a lot of comments. No, not this. Were people guessing they're taking Summer House to the city. They're taking Summer House to the city. And I'm like, oh my God, is Bravo listening to Bonded by Bravo? Because
wait, did you submit that question to Bravo and Cocktails about the city?
No.
Oh, I swear it was you. I was like, this is Jenna's comment. Bravo and Cocktails did a Q&A the other day and said, is Bravo taking the exact same thing that you've said? Or like, what are your thoughts if it was to go back? And I swear it was you.
Well, I will.
You will, yeah. I think a lot of people are pitching this. I think a lot of people are saying, like, we want to see, because I also feel like this time around we see less of New York in the summer. I feel like each season they try to do like a little segment of like even Amanda and Kyle getting breakfast in the city or like a weekend date. I mean, we did see on the episode this week of them being at the Moxie, which, you know, yeah.
Yeah, and I think the people's reaction online to seeing that scene with Lindsay and Paige was so positive.
Oh.
It like the internet all together was like, yes, more of this. This is
right.
I feel like we've wanted in some like even when Paige came on, they just didn't vibe, but it was like I feel like there is something there, and we're finally getting there.
I don't know what it was, but watching Lindsay walk into where Paige was in whatever store and then having this moment, to your point, like, why do I feel like I've been waiting for this for forever? Why do I feel like this is the dynamic? Like, if it's almost like they had to get their petty shit out of the way so that they can come together as the powerhouses and go forward. Because
maybe it was a little bit of the powerhouse in both of them.
Yeah,
didn't work. Especially there was a little bit of an age gap.
Yep.
But, so I don't know if that's true, but I would love that because my favorite scenes are in the city, and like realistically, like I was texting with a friend last night. And, like, I understand they're getting paid a good amount of money to be going to the Hamptons every weekend. But, boy, the way I would be dreading Friday. Like, all right, pack up the car. We got to get down there. We got to start drinking again. Like, every weekend at this age, I could not. I do one weekend.
Yeah, every weekend. You're right.
And I'm like, I'm good for at least 2 weeks.
But this is the same thing with Vanderpump. It's a great formula. Like, the first 5 seasons of Summer House, great formula. I mean, Amanda was Kyle's booty call in the first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
We had the Carl hooking up with Paige in the pantry. Like, the formula is there. The parties are there, but this isn't the people.
The difference, too, between the Summer House cast and VPR, like early VPR, obviously, like, cannot touch it. It's great TV. But as it went on, they kind of are not that interesting all individually, which I hate to say, but the Summer House cast, they just are a little more interesting. Paige has a lot going on.
Yeah.
And fashion line. We get to see a little bit of like Lindsay doing her influencer thing. Kyle has this alcohol brand, hate him, like they all have, like Sierra's doing the modeling. Like they all have jobs.
Yeah.
And that I feel like would be good to watch. Yeah, the people in Summer House, they're just like more interesting. Their lives are more interesting. Where for Vanderpump, once they graduated out of working in the restaurant, they weren't really doing it.
No.
None of them had jobs to follow.
They all talked about it, and we knew that they were influencing, but not at the same level. It definitely was not.
Not at the same level. Like they would be doing the appearances and, you know, that kind of stuff, like early Kardashian stuff. But none of them had a job. None of them worked in fashion, for example, and all like. Yeah. One was working behind the scenes in movies. Like that would have been cool to see. We're watching the Summer House.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, right. None of them did anything. None of them are interesting on their own. No offense.
Yeah.
Like I love the show.
Stassi broke out.
She's getting her own show.
Yep. Like she is the breakout and has been the breakout. Just like
breakout star for that.
And I think in Summer House we see there's been a few different versions of that. Also, social media when Vanderpump first started wasn't at the same type of thing. Even though it's like a few year difference, it wasn't at the same capacity of like what you can do or be as an influencer right now. It was at the very beginning of that.
That's true, but they're not even just influencing. I mean, they got stuff going on.
Yeah. But it's weird because also the influencer game has changed so much. Like people try to become this, like that as a job. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm excited to see if that's what this is.
What I'm excited for about Summer House is, okay, so Kyle sends this rage text to Paige. You saw that episode, right?
Yeah, that was, you know me and Kyle, I don't fuck with him. Dude, and this pissed me off even more.
Actually,
he's a child.
He's such a child. Actually, I meant to talk about this story last week, but I'm at work, or maybe, let me know if I did already tell this story. I'm at work. I'm like in the middle of like making like a decent amount. I probably have like 4 Manhattans going in front of me and like 2 old fashions. I'm like right in the middle of it. I hear out the corner of my ear, like coming from the corner of the bar, I hear someone go, "In that fucking New York Times article," and Kyle is the worst husband. The way I turned around, I said, "The cocktails can wait." I said, "Are we talking about Summer House?" And they were like, "Yeah." I was like, "Just hold this and let me finish up."
Please don't. Pause the conversation.
Yeah.
I also, like, I'm sorry, but Amanda is going to be apologizing for Kyle for the rest of her life. And I am so embarrassed for her that this is what she has to deal with. And I almost am like, I love you, Amanda, but this is embarrassing for you. The way that you, if I saw that my husband was texting one of my best friends that way, I would cut his dick off. Like, no fucking way. I would threaten divorce.
I think she did.
This isn't the first time this has happened.
I know.
This isn't the first time it's happened. It isn't the first time that he's done something to embarrass her. And, like, I'm sorry, but that to me is...
point. Like, Paige is like, I have nothing to do with this. And then I was really thinking about it, like, Hannah...
Kyle's a bully. Kyle's a bully. He goes...
Everyone should respect him.
For what? He doesn't respect people. If you're...
But the way that he feels like Craig owes him some sort of loyalty, I find strange. Like, are they friends? Like, they know each other for sure, but, like, are they friends?
Bravo Universe friends. It's like, I'd say...
like work colleagues.
Yeah. And Craig doesn't owe you anything.
No, and if he's trying to get his dollar and you're not offering...
Business is business.
Business is business.
Business is just like, and it's not like, yeah, I would say if anything, Paige is in the middle. Paige is the one who has to feel this way. And then for one of her best friend's husbands to then go ahead and I just...
When she says that comment, like, he's lucky I don't buy Loverboy and sell it, I was like, yeah, girl, because you got the money.
And you know what? That's going to go down in Bravo history. The only thing I could think it would be the way that Kyle is comfortable enough talking to Paige that way is if Paige and Kyle have a separate friendship.
It sounds like they do.
Which we never see. And that's never set up. And so there was something that was said in different interviews, I think, with Amanda and Kyle, where Amanda said, like, Paige had gone to Kyle asking for advice about Craig, which makes me think there might have been a different dynamic between them.
You're being so confused about your life that you have to go to Kyle Cooke for life. Like, girl, you hit rock bottom. Leave the relationship.
Clip that.
Yeah. I mean, what a disaster.
I just, and he is this, like, almighty, like, we talk about entitlement a lot.
For sure.
Yeah, it's not, he's just such a bro, I would love him to be off my TV. I don't even think he's good TV anymore.
So when I was thinking about them going to the city, that was one thing that I was like, I don't know that I need to see Kyle anymore. I feel good. I feel tapped out on him. I don't need to see him on my screen ever again. I haven't needed to see him for the last 8 seasons, and yet Bravo keeps throwing it in our face. So
I think the other thing
Bravo, please take that into consideration.
I think the other thing too is how these text messages, it's the first time we hear Hannah's name on Summer House. I think that since she left.
Yeah.
And Paige says it. She also says, like, the only reason I'm here is because your husband wants to be Diplo. 2 iconic lines that are going to go for this whole season. That
Diplo's so hot. Talk about celebrity hall pass.
See, it's so weird because I think he had some creepy allegations against him where I got the ick. It tracks.
Acid on New Year's Eve. Love that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fine.
All right. That's thing. Really.
Yeah, but we met Imrul.
Yeah, there's not so much to say about him quite yet. I was going to ask feelings on him, but...
What? There's so much to say. He's such a tool bag. What do you mean?
He's only on screen for like 5 minutes.
And when he was talking about a sex party he went to. He is giving me Jordan from season 2 or 3 vibes of like trying to overcompensate so much. I'm not going to like him. I don't need more time with him.
Yeah.
And...
I don't.
Mark my words. He's one. I think he'll be a 1-season wonder.
100%.
Yeah, you can just tell. There was something when Jesse and West came in that you were like, Yeah. There was an immediate likability, and I think with Imrul, it's the exact opposite. There's immediate reason to not like him.
Yeah, he's definitely like one season wonder. That's why I'm kind of like, when I even wrote on the outline, like, what do you think of him? I was like, wait, do we even care?
Yeah.
Like, he's going to be on our screen this season, and that'll be the end of that.
Yeah. There was more Jesse and...
There was a conversation with Jesse and Lexi that I actually was like, okay, Lexi, like, I don't know if we talked about this last episode, but the way that she tells him that she's not down to just, like, mess around, like, she's either in it or not, I really was like, damn, I certainly didn't have that in my 20s.
The confidence.
It's easy. Like, no, I wasn't.
Do you know what I was thinking about after last week's episode when we were talking about? What'd you say?
It's funny that we all do that, like girls.
I'm so cool.
I'm so chill.
But that's what's making me now. I'm liking Lexi because I'm like, it's so balls for you to say what you actually want. Because even sometimes in my 40s, I don't know if I would have the balls to do that. And I was thinking about last week about how the episode with Jesse coming on so strong. If it was a girl doing what Jesse's doing, we would call her a psycho. We would say, oh my God, she's being such a psycho. She's acting. Exactly. And because it's Lexi, or because it's Jesse, and he's like the handsome guy and he's doing the cute things, that they just think that like, oh, it's just like he's love bombing, but it's fine. Everything's fine. And it's not that fine. He's entitled and he is like, this isn't the one.
And then what's going to happen is when she has now made it clear to him what she's down with and what she's not down with,
he's going to pull back.
He's going to take that so lightly, and then she's going to be made out to be the crazy one.
Exactly. 100%, because she's telling what they want. Yeah.
It's so fucked.
It really is. What we do to women in society, because she's got so much, like, I'm sitting there like, this is so great. You're like, I don't want you fucking around with other people when me and you, if we're going to be having sex, like, these are my boundaries. And you're right. That's exactly what's going to happen. You're right. Because we all called Danielle a psycho for coming on strong. And, I hate this for us.
Really, in comparison, Jesse's actually coming on way more strong than, let's say, Danielle was to Alex in Winter House.
So much.
Like, he's full throttle ahead.
Full throttle, like saying he's going to be his girlfriend. And
also, you're showing up to me. I know that the parenting, like meeting the parents was like a very casual, like they were in town or whatever. But, like the bringing of flowers, or like, honestly, he could have even not gone to me.
Yeah.
Because that does, if someone's coming to meet my parents and you're showing up with flowers, yeah, I'm thinking that we're something.
100.
Yeah.
It's making me not like Jesse, and I'm glad I'm turning to Lexi, because I'd rather do that anyway.
Yeah, I agree. Look at us.
Yeah, look at us. We come around after all.
All right, so we stop?
Yeah, let's.
Okay, let's start with, what do you think? So, Southern Charm had a slow start to the season, but it's picked up some momentum for sure.
Yeah.
JT is such a little gremlin. That's the best way.
I keep thinking that it came out on Bravo and Cocktails that JT and Venita's relationship was like a PR thing.
That was even before the season started, too.
Yeah, before the season started, this is going to be a PR thing. And Venita already gives me pick-me vibes so much.
Okay. I find that first of all, oh my God, I have so much to say about Venita, but like, I don't know the right words.
Find them, girl.
The thing with her and JT feels so platonic to me. And I also find that she doesn't really have chemistry with anyone on the cast, maybe a little bit with Madison.
Even that feels forced.
Like, and also Madison, like she's like, yeah, whatever. Like,
right. Like, I'll take down to hang out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you
know what she's giving?
Like, Venita's confessionals make me want to crawl into my skin. They're so, I'm like, how did you get here? How did you get here?
Ew, it's Pick Me Girl. And you know what vibe she's giving me? Danielle vibes. She gives like a version of Danielle of the like trying to create these scenarios, almost self-producing.
The only difference though is that Danielle was actually friends with those people.
Yeah, that's true.
I felt the chemistry between Danielle and Carl. It's like a platonic way. But like still you could tell that they had a dynamic, a friendship, a real friendship outside of the show, that they were in the city together. Whereas Amy's living a bougie life over here. Sorry, if you're not watching, there's just like people around Amy doing stuff like me, like I guess like housekeepers.
That's what that was. I'm laughing so hard because I was like, oh no.
Rich.
I am not. I just want to say that.
Danielle at least had chemistry with the Summer House cast. Venita, I'm like,
how about?
Did you catch? Did she get here?
I think because of Madison. Yeah. And I think she's an influencer, and this was like an opportunity for her. Her saying that JT was her best friend.
I caught that little bit too, and I said, huh?
Since when? There's been 2 scenes with you guys together, and the one was you telling that you liked him and him being like, no, I have a girlfriend. The other weird thing that's happened is, although we were told that this was self-produced, their little dynamic, JT's ex is now coming out saying that the scene in the hotel happened before the scene, or no.
Something's like out of order, right?
Right. I think the Bahamas happened before the scene where he came over her house.
Got it. Okay.
And so she thought he was single.
In the Bahamas.
I'm putting this in quotes. JT needs to be gone too, because nothing's happening with him.
I also just hate looking at him. Oh my God.
But I do think, and I want to say it again, I do think that I don't believe this story that Craig's telling about the B word being used.
No, we've addressed that. There's no way. He definitely didn't say that.
And I think it's a little annoying about Craig, because Craig's...
Go ahead. Sorry, finish.
No, Craig is giving me old Craig, where it just feels like he's being a little bit of a lying storyteller brat.
He definitely amps up stories. The other little tidbit that I caught from this episode was Shep comes downstairs and he's like talking to the group, and he's like, oh no, like I'm afraid of, like I'm not, he's like says something like I'm afraid of Craig, and I was like, oh, that's such an interesting, that's so telling to me, like
that he's the one.
Rooms, like Craig's doing his thing, having the tantrum about the rooms when they're in this beautiful suite in the Bahamas, and they're probably only there for like 2 or 3 nights. He puts up a fight about that. We've seen a little bit of that on Summer House or Winter House, I forget which one, when he was like, I'm not cleaning this, I'll just pay for people to clean it. And then now Shep's Shep being afraid to confront or talk to Craig about anything.
That gives me the ick.
There is I'm sort of really, I'm like picking up what Paige is not putting down, but like subliminal.
Yeah, because who wants to deal with that?
No one.
I saw this. I saw a comment on some reality or some Instagram that said Paige sees how much Amanda has to apologize for Kyle and realizes it's not what she wants for the rest of her life. But that's such a, and Paige is about to go like this. She's she's gonna outgrow him. And I think that's what's really happening. And maybe he was bringing her down for some of the opportunities. It seems like since her breakup with him, she is just like Ariana Maddox it up.
Wait, listen, I was literally laying in bed thinking about this last night. I was like, wait, that episode of Giggly Squad came out, right at the end of December.
Yep.
And boom, it was like to the moon right after that. It got, I think what happened is people tuned in more normal. Myself, actually, I was like a very infrequent giggler or whatever.
Yeah.
So many people wanted to hear what happened in the breakup, and her vulnerability and the way she spoke about it, I think really like resonated with people. And now they started listening to the podcast more. And next thing you know, what is this? 2 months later?
2 months. Yeah.
And she's
on Vanity Fair.
She's got the shoe line with DSW. Like, she is doing so many things. She had that spread in one of those Elle magazine, I think, at the Plaza Hotel. I mean, it's crazy.
It's to see what's happening with her and Hannah. I mean, we say it again and again, and I just can't help but just be here for it. It is so cool. The Plaza Hotel. Oh my God, what I would do. I was looking at that because my friends are coming up to New York for my birthday. A night at the Plaza in just a regular old room is $1,200, $1,200 to $1,600 a night.
Oh wow!
Fun stuff.
Yeah.
What else happened on this? We're literally just watching Shep embarrass himself more.
Oh God, I know. It's like real bad. It's real bad. He does spiral, ends up on a beach chair by the pool, and they spend 2 hours looking for him. So that's not chill. I mean, what are you, like 50 years old and we can't find you? Oh my God, I'd be so pissed.
But that's just so...
If I spend 2 hours of my vacation at night looking for a friend, like, I'm pissed.
Oh, I would be pissed.
Yeah.
It actually just reminded me of our own Mexico vacation.
Yeah, but I was fine.
You were fine. I knew you were fine. I was going to tell if that's what you were laughing about me at.
Okay, so wait. So Shep asked this question, like so Shep and Madison have this conversation on the boat, and he's sort of like, it feels like he's having a moment of reckoning. I mean, who knows if it lasts? Probably not. But he's like, do I even deserve her? Like, do I deserve anything? Like, I am a mess. Like, I am a party boy. He's not, these are not verbatim, but he's basically.
Yeah.
And I was like, finally, you're asking yourself these questions. Like, do you deserve any of these beautiful women that come your way? Probably not.
And that you treat like absolute, that you continue to cheat on and do God knows what else behind their backs.
Yeah.
I mean, even with this chick, Sienna, there were rumors the entire time they were together that he was still active on Raya.
So it's like...
Together.
Yeah.
Maybe this is a good wake-up call for Shep. He's 45?
That's my... Oh, I think he's like 48. That's my question, I guess, is do you think he can change... What is the saying?
Leopard change its spots.
Do you think he could?
I put him...
Always a playboy.
And I put him, and you're going to be like, oh my God. I put him and Jax in like a similar category where they're almost too old to really turn things around, and they're so self-involved that even this, I think he'll bounce back from and be like, no, it wasn't me. It was her. And where we've said before, like, we can see Austin changing. We've felt that Austin is putting in the work. He's going to therapy. He's doing all of the things. And it almost seems like, I don't know, Craig might even be in there now too.
Yeah, Austin's out here going to therapy, and Shep is no shade to an ayahuasca trip, but like, let's start with the therapy and then maybe get to the ayahuasca trip. For sure. Yeah, I think we'll see what happens on the... I don't know. I don't really think Shep's going to be the changer. But we did see, speaking of Jax, did you see that he came out yesterday and admitted, let's just put that in air quotes, because if you've watched Jax on reality TV for the last 10 to 15 years, this is not shocking news to anyone that he was addicted to cocaine for the last... We saw him with our own eyes going into the next 15 times in like a 25-minute time period.
Yeah. When we were in Schwartz and Sandy's in May 2023, Jax was there, Schwartz was there, the other guy, what's his name?
The hot one. I forgot.
Yeah.
He was like a one season.
Yeah. The one that Dana hooked up with. And him and that guy were in and out of the bathroom the entire time. So, I mean, also, if you look at any of his episodes, he just looks so insane in the Coke rage. And so this isn't, I don't think, new news to most of the folks.
I keep seeing the scene on Instagram, and it's the one when this scene actually always cracks me up. When Sheena comes up and is like, "Hey, want to see my music video?" And he's like, "Not really." I'm just like taking shots, but like his eyes are literally bulging out of his head. I'm like, ah.
There's another scene where I can picture him sitting on the couch yelling at Tom Sandoval and Schwartz being about the main guy in the group, where he's just like, "Oh, I'm never going to be the main guy in the group." Crazy eyes, yacked out.
I guess James Kennedy is going to be going on that podcast next.
Really?
I saw like a recap from Lala's podcast, I guess, on Vanderpod recaps, and I think that's what she said.
That's going to be interesting because I don't know how he's going to come back from this.
Although we've seen so many people come back.
It's sick. It pisses me off because it's sick. It really is sick that like we're fine with guys just assaulting women.
We hold like women accountable for years and years and years and years.
I mean, yeah. What happened on? I just think I don't want to. Yeah.
I mean, throwing a prom party for Will.
I'm just so embarrassed for her.
Before we get into this, did you see Leva confirmed that Will was in the building
for the reunion
live and did not show up on stage?
What a puss. I just think he doesn't want to answer to the questions. I also am surprised that Dumois or Bravo and Cocktails, if he was such a cheater,
I know.
I'm kind of surprised that they don't have more receipts.
I felt like that. I feel like that about Kyle and Mauricio too. Like even Kathy was saying it in this episode. Like we've obviously all heard the rumors for years. But
Kyle and Mauricio, I think, are different.
But the point is, like, where are the receipts?
Mauricio had too much money and probably had people sign NDAs.
Okay, fair.
That's just my thought. But yeah, they what?
They're all anonymous on Dumois and Bravo and Cocktail.
True. I just feel like Will, because of his age and the demographic, we would maybe hear more.
I know. I do find that part a little weird.
But there's also, I think there's way too many, like where there's smoke, there's fire. There's way too many accusations for this. Like if there's one as a girlfriend, I'm probably breaking up with you. But if there's 2 to 3 now, like, sorry.
My stomach is so big that I can probably barely breathe.
Yeah, right. And this is all the time. I mean, there's been, Emmy, it's also like watching Emmy is like watching.
I know, but she is bringing reality TV. That is for sure.
Is. I know. Do we need them all to be like on Adderall and Coke for us to like them and for us to see what like?
God. We're the problem.
Because it's true though. Like her like that. I will go back to that scene where it's just mascara pouring down her eyes. That's a Bravo history meme. Like
put it in the everyone
in the Louvre.
Yeah.
Put it in the clubhouse.
Put it definitely in the clubhouse. But when Will shows up with these fucking balloons, and her reaction is like, he asked me to prom. I was cringing so hard. In that moment, I wanted to, evaporate into the Bohemian vibe. I was like, your boyfriend of 3 years brought you fucking balloons to a prom party that you're throwing. Like, we're pretending to be this excited about this? Like,
also, it's a prom party. You're grown-ups. I mean, I guess they're not. They're what, 25? Oh.
I know, they kind of are babies. They're. Yeah. Well, him not showing up to the reunion though, to me, is so telling.
Well, I feel like it's almost you're diming yourself out and saying like, yeah, I did these things.
Yeah, and I don't want to have to answer for them on national television where everyone can fucking comment on the clip.
I also wonder, did Emmy threaten him and say, don't come on, you know what, I saw the questions, because she's not handling it well. And I think she's almost the like, I want to sweep it under the rug. Let's sweep it under the rug. We're going to sweep it under the rug.
Huh. Yeah,
I don't know. I'm ready for this to be over though. This season, it's like the same thing every week almost to me.
I think the season finale next week.
Yeah. Or tonight or tomorrow.
Oh yeah, this week then I guess. Maddie and Joe. I've said it before, but he's just not her type. She needs someone with a little more swag and like
confidence.
I see her with like a Diplo vibe, honestly. That's gorgeous. Every time I look at Maddie when they do like scenes of her,
yeah,
like, really pretty. That hair is very like Carrie Bradshaw, but like longer.
You have a type of girls that you find beautiful. You have such a specific type.
Really?
I just every time, like I'm like, yeah, she's pretty, but like I'm not like yeah.
Oh, interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah. You like definitely have like a little bit of a vibe.
Okay.
But I think that also reflects what we want to see in ourselves.
Yeah, probably that.
You know what I mean? I do really like Maddie and Grace Lilly's friendship. I think it's interesting.
I loved their conversation and I really like that Maddie. I was thinking about this because you are big on loyalty. And Maddie,
you are.
I am, but like you talk about it more, like on here or whatever. Like you're like loyalty,
yeah,
big capital L, and Maddie consistently sticking up for Grace. I was like, oh, that's good. Like she's not gonna let her boyfriend convince her of something about one of her best friends. Like she can acknowledge that at times I'm giving 10% and she's giving 90%. You don't see, like she said to Joe, like you don't see everything. You haven't seen everything. You weren't there when I was spiraling about Trevor. You were on Watch What Happens Live talking shit about me.
Which I loved that comment. And I think that also what Maddie said about friendships it's just so true.
Yeah, I know.
And you're also going to, like they're talking about that dinner. Like you're also just going to bitch at your good friends for a second, and then you're going to have the apology conversation later. Like it's just, I liked that Maddie said that. Maddie's character's really developed over the last 3 seasons. Yeah. I feel like she came in a little insecure, and that was the Trevor piece. But I don't like the way that Joe is manipulating her into thinking that she needs to not do more, that she needs to settle down, that she needs to buy a house.
They're going to be done by next year.
I know, because he's afraid of her getting bigger, and so he's trying to tie her down. In many ways, we saw this with James Kennedy a lot with these ladies that he's dated, and I don't like that.
I don't like
She's
that
too big for him. She really is.
I did like the conversation that Leva had with Joe. Like, don't be out here being her, 100% supporter. Like, focus on yourself.
Right. And it's the only reason he's doing it is because he's scared and he's trying to keep her down. Yeah. And that's only going to push her away. And like you said, it'll be by next season. I think if we have our predictions.
I would be shocked if they're even still together now.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'll probably get through the reunion. She'll get a few more big gigs and then she'll be like, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. I had a thought and I wanted to run it by you, and I don't think you're going to like it because you don't like that I keep trying to do this. But you know how we don't have names for our followers?
I knew this is where you were going to go.
How?
Because you said, I know that you don't like when I do this. And I was like, you're just going to come up with a fucking name for listeners. But
I just feel like we need them. I feel like we need it. I feel like it's what's been missing. And we're almost at 2 years of this podcast because March 1st was when Scandoval broke 2 years ago.
Okay.
So
it's been instructor training, and none of us knew each other, and you're just being taught how to teach Pilates the whole time. So we're not interacting. We had a break, and then we came back, and that's when the news broke. And I'm looking around the room. We're all looking at our phones. I was like, did anyone else see this? Is anyone else following Bravo? And everyone just turned around. And we were like, oh my God. It was this moment of just girlhood at its finest. None of us could even pay attention to teaching Pilates at that point. We were we need to know what's happening, rushing out of there.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. It was intense.
That was a Friday. It was a low Friday for me and a slow Friday in work. and the text came, or the Bravo and cocktails came through, and you're like, this isn't true. I was violently texting you.
It was such a time to be alive.
It really was.
Thank you, Ariana, for taking the
hit. Sorry that we all had to be there. And I didn't believe it for a second. And then all day, Bravo and cocktails coming in with the receipts, it was like you could not be away from your phone. Me and my husband were going to dinner that night, and that was all we talked about.
It was a wild time.
Okay, so do you want it?
It felt like being a Bravo fan
paid off
in that
paid off all those years. You're like, this is the scandal we've been waiting for, and we're so sorry it's at Ariana Maddox's detriment, but like, look what's happened for her over the last 2 years. It's been freaking crazy.
Yeah, it has been crazy.
Okay, so listen to my pitch.
Okay, I'm scared.
Okay,
if it ends with an E's or like an IE or
listen. So you know how we have our number one fan that we love, and her name is Christina. And we always say like day one from like Q102 days. What if we called our fans the Christinas?
Go have a cocktail. Go get drunk.
We love you guys so much. By the time we're back next week, Jenna will be a married woman. Be thinking about Jenna on Friday as she's saying her vows and marrying the love of her life, Kyle, we love you. Jen, congrats. So happy for you. We'll be back next Thursday with an all-new episode of Bonded by Bravo. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Bonded by Bravo Pod, and listen wherever you listen to your podcast. And don't forget about YouTube on the Hurrdat Media channel.